Former President Donald J. Trump has made a bold assertion. He claims to be making significant progress in negotiations to end the devastating war in Ukraine. The conflict, which has caused immense suffering and displacement, has been a focal point of international concern for years. Many have tried and failed to bring about a resolution, but Trump believes he has the unique ability to succeed where others have not. This declaration comes amidst a whirlwind of diplomatic activity surrounding the conflict. Numerous countries and international organizations have been involved in efforts to mediate peace, but the situation remains complex and volatile. Trump's involvement adds a new dimension to these efforts, raising both hopes and doubts. Trump has stated that he has been in direct contact with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The nature of their discussions remains largely undisclosed, but the mere fact of their communication has sparked intense speculation. Some see it as a positive step towards de-escalation, while others worry about the implications of such a dialogue. However, he has remained tight-lipped about the specifics of their conversations. This secrecy has led to a flurry of rumors and conjecture, with analysts and commentators trying to piece together what might be happening behind closed doors. The lack of transparency has only added to the intrigue and uncertainty. Trump's pronouncements have sent shockwaves through the international community. Leaders and citizens alike are reacting with a mix of surprise, skepticism, and cautious optimism. The potential for a breakthrough is tantalizing, but the road to peace is fraught with challenges. He has long positioned himself as a master negotiator. Throughout his career, Trump has touted his deal-making skills as one of his greatest strengths. His confidence in his ability to broker a peace deal is unwavering, and he has made it clear that he believes he can achieve what others could not. Now, he claims he can achieve what others could not: a swift and decisive end to the bloodshed in Ukraine. The stakes are incredibly high, and the world is watching closely to see if he can deliver on his promises. The human cost of the conflict is immense, and a resolution would be a monumental achievement. His ambitious goal is to broker a peace deal within his first 100 days back in office. This timeline is incredibly tight, reflecting the urgency he feels in addressing the crisis. It also sets a high bar for success, and many are skeptical about whether such a rapid resolution is feasible. This timeline speaks to the urgency he feels in resolving the crisis. However, skepticism abounds. Critics argue that the complexities of the conflict cannot be unraveled so quickly, and that Trump's approach may be overly simplistic. The challenges are immense, and the path to peace is anything but straightforward. Many observers question whether Trump's claims are mere bluster. His history of making bold statements that do not always come to fruition has led to a cautious reception of his latest pronouncements. The international community is watching closely, but with a healthy dose of skepticism. They point to his history of unpredictable behavior and penchant for grandstanding. Trump's track record is a mixed bag, and his critics are quick to highlight instances where his actions have not matched his rhetoric. This history adds a layer of complexity to the current situation, making it difficult to predict the outcome. The world waits with bated breath. The potential for a breakthrough is real, but so are the risks and uncertainties. The coming days and weeks will be critical in determining whether Trump's efforts will lead to a lasting peace, or if they will falter under the weight of expectations and realities on the ground. Will Trump's efforts bear fruit, or will his promises fall flat? Only time will tell. The stakes could not be higher, and the world is watching with a mix of hope and apprehension. The outcome of these efforts will have profound implications for the future of Ukraine, the region, and the world at large. Adding fuel to the fire of speculation, reports have surfaced about a potential deal being discussed between the United States and Ukraine. This deal, if it comes to fruition, could have far-reaching implications not just for the two nations involved, but for the global geopolitical landscape as a whole. At the heart of this proposed agreement lies a quid pro quo: weapons for resources. The United States would supply Ukraine with advanced military hardware, including state-of-the-art weaponry and defense systems, in exchange for access to Ukraine's abundant natural resources. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is scheduled to travel to Kyiv, the Ukrainian capital, in the coming days. His visit is seen as a critical step in negotiating the finer points of this controversial deal. His mission to hammer out the details of this controversial arrangement. The stakes are high, and the negotiations are expected to be intense, with both sides looking to secure the best possible terms. The resources in question are vast and valuable. Ukraine's rich deposits of minerals and other natural resources have long been coveted by many nations. Ukraine is home to an estimated $500 billion worth of mineral wealth. This includes a wide array of valuable minerals that are essential for various industries. This includes crucial rare earth minerals, oil and natural gas deposits. These resources are not only valuable but also strategically important for the technological and energy sectors. These resources are essential for various industries, including technology and energy. The demand for rare earth minerals in particular has skyrocketed in recent years due to their use in high-tech devices and renewable energy technologies. The deal would grant the United States access to these valuable assets in exchange for providing Ukraine with much-needed weaponry. However, there's a catch. The logistics of extracting and transporting these resources are complicated by the ongoing conflict in the region. Many of these resource-rich areas are currently under Russian control or under constant threat of attack. This makes the proposed deal not only risky but also highly contentious. This geographical reality adds a layer of complexity to the proposed agreement. Securing these resources would require significant military and logistical support, raising questions about the feasibility and ethics of such an arrangement. Critics argue that such a deal would only serve to further enrich the United States at the expense of a nation in peril. They contend that Ukraine's resources should be used to rebuild the country, not to fuel another nation's economic ambitions. They question whether it's ethical to profit from a war-torn country's resources. The moral implications of such a deal have sparked a heated debate among politicians, analysts, and the general public. The proposed weapons for resources deal has sparked heated debate. Supporters argue that it could provide Ukraine with the military support it desperately needs, while opponents warn of the long-term consequences and ethical dilemmas. It remains to be seen whether this controversial arrangement will ultimately come to fruition. The outcome of these negotiations could have significant implications for international relations and the future of Ukraine. Amidst the uncertainty and skepticism surrounding Trump's peace initiative, a glimmer of hope has emerged. This hope is not just a fleeting sentiment but is grounded in a significant event that has caught the attention of many around the world. Mark Fogel, an American teacher detained in Russia since 2021, has been released. His release marks a pivotal moment in the ongoing diplomatic efforts between the United States and Russia. This unexpected development is being interpreted by some as a positive sign, a potential breakthrough in the stalled negotiations. It has sparked a wave of cautious optimism among political analysts and the general public alike. The release of Fogel could be a signal that both nations are willing to engage in more meaningful dialogue, potentially paving the way for further diplomatic breakthroughs. Fogel's release came as a surprise to many. It was an unexpected move that has left many wondering about the motivations behind it. He had been arrested on drug charges, a case that had largely flown under the radar amidst the wider conflict in Ukraine. His detention had not garnered much media attention, making his release all the more surprising. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine has dominated headlines, overshadowing many other significant events. In this context, Fogel's release stands out as a rare piece of positive news. His release, without any public concessions from the United States, is being seen as a goodwill gesture by Russia. This move has led to speculation about what might come next in the complex relationship between the two countries. Trump has hinted that Fogel's release is just the beginning. He has suggested that this could be the first step in a series of actions aimed at improving relations between the two nations. He suggests that more prisoner exchanges might be on the horizon, potentially involving high-profile individuals. These exchanges could serve as a foundation for building trust and cooperation. These releases could serve as crucial building blocks for trust and pave the way for further progress in negotiations. However, others remain cautious. They argue that while Fogel's release is a positive step, it may not necessarily indicate a broader shift in Russia's stance. They argue that Fogel's release might be an isolated incident, not necessarily indicative of a broader shift in Russia's stance. Skeptics caution against reading too much into this single event. The complexities of international relations mean that one positive development does not automatically lead to a cascade of positive changes. The situation remains fluid and unpredictable. The world watches and waits, hoping that Fogel's release signals a genuine thaw in relations and a step towards a more peaceful future. The coming weeks and months will be crucial in determining whether this hope is well-founded. As the world holds its breath, the release of Mark Fogel stands as a beacon of hope. It is a reminder that even in the darkest times there can be moments of light and possibilities for a better future. Despite the recent release of Mark Fogel and Trump's assertions of progress, skepticism continues to cast a long shadow over his peace initiative. Doubts linger about Trump's understanding of the complexities of the conflict and his ability to negotiate a lasting peace. One voice articulating these concerns is that of a former Ukrainian Marine. This soldier, who endured torture as a prisoner of war in Russia, expresses deep skepticism about Trump's approach. He argues that Trump fails to grasp the depth of the Ukrainian people's resolve. He emphasizes that Ukraine is unwilling to accept a peace deal that compromises its sovereignty and territorial integrity. The former Marine's words serve as a stark reminder of the human cost of the conflict. They highlight the deep-seated distrust and animosity that exists between Ukraine and Russia. His skepticism underscores the immense challenges facing Trump as he attempts to broker peace. It remains to be seen whether Trump can bridge the divide and deliver on his promise of a swift resolution. In a move that has further inflamed tensions, Trump recently made a controversial statement about Ukraine's future. In a public address, he suggested that Ukraine may be Russian someday. This remark, delivered with his trademark off-the-cuff style, has drawn widespread condemnation and fueled accusations that he is sympathetic to Russia's position. The timing of Trump's statement is particularly sensitive. It comes just days before Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is scheduled to meet with U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance. The purpose of this meeting is to discuss security guarantees for Ukraine. Trump's Russian comment directly undermines these efforts. It casts doubt on the United States' commitment to Ukraine's future as an independent nation. The Ukrainian government has reacted with outrage, accusing Trump of emboldening Putin and jeopardizing the peace process. International observers have also expressed alarm, questioning Trump's judgment and diplomatic acumen. Trump's controversial statement has injected a fresh dose of uncertainty into an already volatile situation. It remains to be seen what impact his words will have on the delicate negotiations.